Good afternoon, everybody. This is Don again, and it is time for episode 66 of Practical Reality. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's absolutely a gorgeous day. You can see my hair is getting blown around. You can see the leaves are moving behind me. There's a gentle breeze. It's about 82 degrees. Low humidity today. Yesterday was like 75 and like 95% humidity, and it rained all day. I mean, deluge and loud claps of thunder besides. So it wasn't really much of a day you could do anything. And actually, I'm getting over a cold, as you can probably hear in my voice. My wife, Linda, was sick last week, and she sort of passed it on to me, which is pretty unavoidable. So I'm just sort of pushing through, getting over this cold, and I think it'll probably pass in the next couple of days. So today's topic on a beautiful day, we're going to talk about autopilot. How to recognize when you are running on autopilot. Now, the first question I want to ask you is, how many times has it happened to you recently where you stop for a moment and you think to yourself, wow, where has all the time gone? I know as I get older, it seems to me like time flies by so much faster. Here we are near the end of July, and like I said, it's about 82 degrees today, and we've had a couple of days over 100 already this summer. But I can still remember clear as day like 6 months ago, and it was like 5 degrees. And the snow was on the ground, and it was whipping, and the wind was whipping, and it was brutally cold. And that seems like it was yesterday. I know another thing that I have said to myself many times is that I'm a slave to my routine. And as a person who does their best to practice spirituality, that's actually a terrible thing to say, because that means I'm running on autopilot. Each day goes by in a blur and nothing really changes. I'm not creating under those circumstances. I'm reacting to the circumstances that get dictated to me because of my unconsciousness. So I decided to do a little research and look for the signs of when my mind is on autopilot. Now, the first one I said, you come to the present moment for just a moment, and you realize to yourself, wow, time is flying by quickly. That's sort of a helpless feeling. You don't know if you can ever slow things down. And to me, the worst aspect of this is not being in control of how you show up to the world on a daily basis, either for yourself or the people around you. You're presenting a picture of yourself to the world that doesn't represent the true you. Here's another thing that happens to me sometimes. I'm in the shower and I'm washing myself, but my mind isn't there. Now, the shower is normally, at least for me, a pleasant experience. You're underneath the warm water and you're washing yourself off and you should feel great. But my mind doesn't allow me to just enjoy the shower. I'm thinking about everything I want to do today. I'm thinking about all the problems I'm having. I'm thinking about what do I want to accomplish. And it's difficult to, that makes it difficult or impossible to bring yourself to the present moment and just enjoy the warmth of the shower and to luxuriate in that experience. And that's, you take showers every day or maybe more than once a day. And that should be a few minutes that you take to yourself to enjoy yourself. And if your mind is being pressed on by circumstances to the point where you can't just stay in the present moment and enjoy the water, then you're unconscious. Here's a third example of autopilot. You're in the middle of your work routine and you're trying your best to concentrate, but you're ignoring the physical signals that your body is sending you. You're getting tense. Maybe you're getting a headache. You feel yourself like in fourth gear, like the whole day. You're trying to hurry and get things done as quickly as possible. That's autopilot. You ignore it and you keep going. And when you finally finish, you feel mentally and physically exhausted, which means basically that you're letting your work get the best of you. You start wishing for things to change and you suddenly feel stuck. And what happens? Your vibration drops. You start to feel bad about yourself or about your circumstances, and your vibration drops, and that puts you into a worse state of mind, and who knows how long that's going to happen. If you're unconscious, you don't necessarily know when that state of mind is occurring, or you don't know enough to stop yourself in the middle and bring yourself to the present moment and get rid of that low vibration. So let's talk about one more example of autopilot. How many times a day do you pick up your phone or go on the computer and just scroll around or flip to the TV channels just to see what's on? And maybe you're not watching anything. Maybe just flipping through channels, or maybe just scrolling up and down your phone, looking at Facebook or LinkedIn or the news stories. You start reading a couple of them, and sooner or later you've wasted 15 minutes before you realize you have to get back to doing something. Or you come to the point where you realize, wow, what am I doing? This is a waste of my time. And time is all you have. So then you come to the present moment and you can then bring yourself to a point where you are creating, which is, I'm going to talk more about that in a second. All of these habits and occurrences are telltale signs that you are running on autopilot. And you're not alone. I mean, most of us live on autopilot every single day. So let's talk about what you're going to do about it. The number one remedy to the state of autopilot is to remember the things you should be grateful for every day. Now, how often do you actually stop and think about the things you should be grateful for? And how often do you feel that there's not much to be grateful for? Well, that's a terrible feeling, and that's just plain wrong, okay? No matter what your circumstances, you have things to be grateful for every day. Sometimes the world seems like it's dictating your life to you, and you're not in control. If that happens, the very best thing you can do... Hold on. Grab the script. The very best thing you can do is sit back and clear your head, take some deep breaths, and think about the things you have to be grateful for. I have said this before in other videos. Bringing yourself to the present moment automatically raises your vibrational frequency. And I've listened to many videos out there, grateful, vibrational raising meditations. And it's funny, they think of many things to be grateful for that I just don't think of normally, which is what makes those videos so useful. Sometimes, just feeling grateful for the breath in your chest is a wonderful thing. Feeling grateful for the green leaves on these trees and the grass beneath my feet and watching the deer roam around and stuff like that. Those are beautiful sights. Those sights are healthy for you. Just looking and sitting here and contemplating this for a few minutes is healthy for you. And that's something to be grateful for. And if you think about it, if you can bring yourself to the present moment long enough and remain in the present moment, you can think of many, many things that you can be grateful for. Recent scientific studies have shown that you are not the creator of consciousness. You are the receptor of consciousness. And the universe is the conscious being which you are a part of. And that consciousness runs on a frequency of love, or at least benign energy. To connect yourself to the universal consciousness at any one moment will bring you automatically into a state of gratitude and love. When the world seems to be knocking you down and making you feel completely powerless and worthless, bringing yourself to the present moment and feeling the love that the universe offers you is a powerful way to bring yourself into a state of internal control. And if you've seen my videos before, you know that internal control is the ultimate goal that I say you should be striving for every single day. Now, if we are, as the science says, receptors of consciousness instead of the creators of consciousness, then you are capable of creating your reality by tuning into that universal consciousness that exists all around you. And you must realize that the universal consciousness is benign. This has to be a fact. Think about that. It has to be a fact. Because if the universal consciousness was an evil or harmful force, it is highly likely that none of us would exist. All of the innumerable events and factors that have occurred in the 13.8 billion year history of the universe have made it possible for us to exist in this moment as thinking and creative human beings. We have searched endlessly through the cosmos and have not found anything that remotely resembles us. How special does that make us? We are a miracle. Each one of us is a miracle, and life is a gift. So don't let the precious moments of life be taken from you by those who lack the consciousness to create a reality for themselves that reflects the love that the universe runs on. When you enter the present moment and you can see things the way they are, you will realize that you're not alone. Most people are running on autopilot, and therefore the way they act towards you is not a reflection of the true person they are. They are a reflection of the circumstances that are dictating how that person leads their life and how that person is reacting to circumstances instead of creating their own reality. When you can realize that situation for what it is, then you can stop letting everything affect you personally. And coming to that realization will allow you to free yourself from those circumstances and those influences and create a reality for yourself that more greatly reflects the desires you have and the love that resides within your soul.